want to support the platform just in case anything like this happens again, you can do it by way of PayPal, Patreon, Cash App, and also by the Anchor. And you can also further support the platform by way of going to the Teespring store or the shoe store that is located in the comment section below. An industrial plant in Ohio was ripped apart by a deadly explosion that spewed molten metal and debris so far that it rained down onto neighboring buildings. A 46-year-old man was killed, and more than a dozen workers were taken to hospital, mostly suffering from burns. After the blast at the Ashuman & Co. metals plant in Bedford, the explosion, which happened at around 2 p.m. on Monday, was captured from a traffic camera a significant distance away. Oakwood Fire Department Captain Brian Racco told Reuters that 13 people were taken to hospital, with one other being treated on site. At least one patient was in a critical condition, he added. Another had to pull from the wreckage. The people were mostly walking wounded, Racco said. I'm sure there's a lot of people that work here that were in shock. All of those injured had been on site at the time. Workers at neighboring businesses were reportedly unharmed. Later in the day, a spokeswoman for Cuyahoga County confirmed that a 46-year-old man had died. No further details about the victim were released. Racco said he had inspected the site previously and found it to be safe, except for the fact that it's a foundry. He said, "You are dealing with molten metal, so there's always an inherent danger." Ashuman & Co., which produces copper, brass, and bronze alloys, released a statement saying the damage to the plant was significant. It added, "We will work alongside investigators in their search for answers as part of our commitment to Northeast Ohio, where we have been operating for more than 100 years. The cause of the explosion remains unknown, and an investigation is underway." Matthew Wiggins, the owner of a neighboring business called Rose Color Gaming, said was working when his building was rocked by the explosion. Within a second or two, it sounded like large amounts of debris were hitting the roof. Things were falling off the walls, falling off shelves. We went out front and there was like smoldering rocks and molten metal in the yard. Tons and tons of smoke, fire billowing out of the building across the street. Another witness, Joe Sarconi, said a brick wall enclosing the property was obliterated. A beam flew across the street. That other beam flew across the street and blew out our window. Residents, who have been told it's now safe to return home, residents said they have been suffering from a range of health problems. Several have claimed their pets have died, while a mom said her baby needed medical treatment after developing breathing difficulties. Other locals have complained of breathing problems, rashes, sore throats, and migraines. So just in case people don't understand, this is about the umpteenth video I've now done, including a live stream going over these things. So just in case people, again, don't understand what specifically took place, this is what some of the people had to state, right? Some people basically stated that you have people suffering from a range of health problems. Several have claimed that their pets have died, while a mom stated that her baby needed medical treatment after developing breathing difficulties. Other locals have complained of breathing problems, rashes, sore throats, and migraines. So think about that. You had this explosion that took place at a factory. This is, it's burning, and all of these things are going directly into the air and is sending all types of material out into not only the atmosphere, but the surrounding area, the surrounding neighborhoods that are there. So it's going on the ground, it's going in the trees, it's going to the water, it's going to people's homes. And you have people that are having issues breathing. They're coming through with skin irritation, rashes. They're having sore throats because they ended up more than likely inhaling some of those particulates that were raining down, some of the particulates that were flying in the air due to the fact of what was burning off from the factory, due to the things that were floating around in the air. You also had people that were suffering from migraines. And this is about what, the second or so thing that took place in Ohio. And as I told people before, a lot of these things are planned for very specific reasons. You are literally watching an area, you're literally watching and reading about people being deliberately poisoned by the people in power. Somebody explain to me, why is it that the government isn't really saying or doing anything about this? Why isn't this a top priority? The one main thing that I remember that was mentioned on Twitter was this: Biden pledges 500 million more in military aid. Whose man is this? I need to know who specifically voted for him, because this is y'all fault. You mean to tell me that him and the government can pledge 500 million more dollars to Ukraine to help support them, and we have all of these catastrophes that are happening here that need to be fixed, that need to be sought after? This man is literally flying to a whole nother country where all of these things are basically going on magically. For whatever reason, ain't nothing happening, which is magical to me. I'm not sure how that exactly works. I guess people are taking a pause at this moment in time, versus the stuff that, they are currently doing. I don't know. I don't know. It's just magical how these things happen. Um, but you mean to tell me that your guy, and I'm specifically talking about the people who voted for him, your guy is pledging 500 million to other people that aren't even here, that are not even a part of this nation, when we have people in this nation that are suffering? We got train derailments, we got factories exploding all over the place, we got toxic chemicals raining directly from the sky, going directly in groundwater, aquifers, poisoning, the fish in creeks and wherever else. People having, skin irritation, migraines, pets dying. All this stuff is basically happening, and this is what we get. This is what we get. Wow. Wow. This is crazy. But this is who people voted for, right? It could have been anybody else. It could have been like an independent or something like that. You could have voted for anybody else. Or you could have voted not at all. And and yet this is what we got. This is what people were excited for. This is what people hoped for. This is what people prayed for. This right here, billions of dollars given to a whole nother country when we need money here. Wow. 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 Again, these are all of the events that have pretty much taken place. We more than likely have had other events that just aren't listed or even talked about. But again, these are the things that have taken place. Um, I've also done videos before, which I'll reference again, where I listed about close to 100 facilities, be it plants, small, large, factories, whatever it is, that produced all types of goods. Doesn't matter if it was soy milk, doesn't matter if it was almond milk, doesn't matter if it was for chicken or things dealing with meat. Pretty much any product that you can go to the market and buy, or that is a necessity. Um, they've ended up having warehouse either explosions, crashes, fires, or something that pretty much put that factory and or that warehouse out of commission. And a lot of those happened all in one year. So again, you are watching masters at work. You are watching the powers that be, the ones in control, doing whatever it is that they want to do. You are watching them poison American citizens while pretty much everybody says nothing, standing down, staying silent. You don't hear any type of outrage. You don't hear people trying to protest. You don't see people trying to march. But yet, you have a lot of people always claiming that they love America, that quote unquote America is the best, and all these other types of things. Where are all of these people to come out and be oh so vocal about these things. Where are the celebrities at, right? Because we always say that we want the celebrities to represent us, to be those political officials. Where are all of the celebrities to specifically talk about these events that are taking place? Why are they so silent, as if none of these things are happening, as if they can't see these things on social media? They seem to respond to everything else and to look at everything else and to talk about everything else, but this, magically, they're staying back from it. They're not trying to use their platform with millions of followers to educate people and to specifically talk about these things. Ain't that something? Well, as I always tell you guys, it's going to get worse before it gets better.